It seems like the rest of the conference, Stephen, is kind of taking a step back, where even during Bama's run, there's always been an LSU and Auburn right there to finish in the top 5 or 10, really push Alabama to the brink, and it just doesn't seem like that program's there right now. Your feelings about the conference and where it stands right now?
It's tough, Mark, because when you look at Alabama and the way that Nick Saban recruits, he's attacking needs. He's going down to all venues, all areas, getting recruits, and when you're competing against the likes of Saban, and not just Saban, other coaches in the SEC, and trying to persuade these 18, 19-year-old kids, but not just them, their parents, that you are the best school, that you have the best facilities, that you have the best staff, that you have the best of everything, is difficult because these kids hear everything. These kids hear it all. And the one thing they want is results. And at the end of the day, if your school isn't the one that's consistently winning, or the one that's consistently competing for championships or competing for national championships, then it's difficult to be able to reel some of those kids in. So as of right now, I think the difficulty of the SEC is finding those teams outside of Alabama. LSU at one time one of those teams, but outside of Alabama, who can really compete for Southeastern Conference championships, who can consistently get to the college football playoff and really sear into the minds of the recruits that we are on the same standard as Alabama is.
So, Stephen, in looking at the last 3 to 4 years for every program in the SEC, and especially we're obviously going to focus on those contenders, those teams that have a shot at Bama, what's amazing to me, a number of things stand out. First, that there's a ton of teams in the SEC. There's a handful of teams that recruit close to Alabama, that give it a shot, that are in that top 5 to 10 range. Florida had a top 10 class this year. Tennessee's had top 10 classes, top 5 classes. Georgia, in the last 4 years, despite being a middling SEC Eastern Division team, has had 4 top 10 classes. So it's not just the recruiting. Bama, over the past 3 seasons, has won 22 of 24 games in the SEC. Nobody else is even close. Florida has the second best record in the conference at 17-7. LSU, which I think we would both agree recruits as well as anybody in the nation outside of Alabama year in, year out, with recruiting classes, according to 247 Sports, in the last 4 years, at number 2, 6, 3, and 7 in the nation, 14-10 in the SEC over the last few years. Based on the talent that continues to come into this conference, the rest of these programs, Stephen, are underachieving.
And it comes down to, it doesn't matter the 4 or the 5 stars, Mark. It's what do you do when you get on the field? It's almost like the old saying, what have you done for me lately? What truly have you done for me lately once you get on the field? Because after signing day is over, the 4 and 5 stars do not matter. It's when you get on this field, how do you play? How do you dissect the playbook?
So I think one thing Stephen's going to hit on here is possibly the coaching situation, because if you look at the talent going into the league and then 3 to 4 years later coming out the other end to the NFL draft, nothing has changed in the SEC. This is something that's changed. In the salad days of the SEC, which we would consider maybe 2008 to 11 or 12, you had Urban Meyer at Florida. He's gone to Ohio State in the Big Ten. You had even the likes of a Gary Pinkel at Missouri. They entered the league. They win 2 SEC Eastern Division championships. He goes 14-2 in the SEC back-to-back seasons. He's gone. South Carolina, in place with one of the best coaches in the history of college football, in Steve Spurrier, won 11 games 3 consecutive years, finished in the top 5 3 consecutive years. That just ended. It seems like eons ago, but that was just 2013. South Carolina trying to recover after a 3-9 2015, trying to get back on the map. Tennessee hasn't been a factor since 2007, since Philip Fulmer left. Of course, Butch Jones, great recruiting classes. We speak of LSU. Tennessee in the last 4 years under Butch Jones, 7th-rated class in the nation, number 4, number 14, number 17. But Tennessee's 12-12 in the SEC over the last 3 seasons.